the idea of property, you know, and business, and what I've kind of experienced so far is people seem to think that knowledge is the success. Like if you get the knowledge, you're gonna, you know, be successful. And you know, if that was the case, then, you know, everyone that went on a Samuel Leeds crash course would be a millionaire by now. But they're not, right? So, you know, it's like it is an important piece of the puzzle, but you know, it's, for me, it's about 20% of it. I generally don't think that you know, I just don't think it's as important as the mindset and the activity levels and, you know, knowing what you're doing. Yes, you need to be focused and you need to know what you're doing, but you can have all the knowledge in the world and not take any action, and it's absolutely pointless. So I just want to go through, spend a good bit of time on just getting ourselves fully focused on the next 12 months ahead. And by doing that, we will understand when we're about to quit, we'll probably keep going, and, you know, it'll just drive us forward. And this has definitely been one of my strongest elements. I'm just going to pop my headphones in so I can't hear the kids. So can everyone hear me still? Yeah, cool. All right. So at all times, under all circumstances, we have the power to transform the quality of our lives. Just type 1 in the chat if you have made excuses last year. And, you know, this is all about being honest as well. So, you know, there's no point, being honest. I'm going to just get this chat up here. 1. Yeah, cool. So, and it's all right, okay? Well, it's not all right, but it happens. We all make excuses, and you know, that's just the way the world goes. And, you know, it is what it is. So at least when you're open and honest to yourself, you know exactly where you're going to go and where you can go from. So if for me, there's two types of people. We've got those that are what I call sort of straight line people, and those that are circle people. So we've got to operate from an empowering stance at all times. And a lot of people limit their stance and where they come from. And, you know, oh, Jesus Christ, what is going on today with this technology? So a disempowering stance is, you know, people that constantly worry. I see this all the time, you know, worrying about, you know, should I take service accommodation unit on? You know, the market's not hot, it's COVID. You know, what if it does this? What if it does that? You know, a lot of people blame others. I went on this coaching course, it was crap. You know, I got no results from it. You know, I haven't had any deals because the estate agents won't speak to me. You know, they're constantly trying to do stuff, but never actually getting anywhere. And they're content with insight. So, you know, they're content with knowing everything, but, you know, and that's fine. They're happy with that. You know, for me, you know, it's all well and good knowing something, but if you don't actually get any results from it, you're actually worse off. You might as well have been better off not knowing it, because I think you're not empowering yourself to move forward. So, and examples of an empowering stance: are you committed? You know, you don't worry about anything. You're just committed to your end goal, and you execute until you get there. You're authentic about everything. You know, you do things in the right way. And you know, you choose growth choices. You don't just try and do stuff. You choose the right choices for you to grow, both, you know, in life and in business. And, you know, you're constantly functioning from a position of integrity, you know, and that is, for me, there's like 2 types of people. And, you know, you always want to be operating from an empowering stance, which, FYI, you can create from everything we talk about today. It doesn't matter whether if a lot of this sort of hits hard and it's like, shit, that's me. You know, he's talking about me there. That's fine. As long as you decide from today that you're going to go in a different direction, you know, and that's the idea of this. We all have the ability to to go forward in different directions. You know, from today, it doesn't matter what happened before us. You know, that you were, I don't believe that you were born with a certain DNA or any sort of bollocks like that. You know, you are 100% in control of the decisions you make and how you act going forward. Just type 1 in the chat if you think you've been operating from a disempowering stance at some point in the last year. Cool. Okay, so at least we're talking to the right people, we're talking the right language, and hopefully we can try and help move forward from today, because that's the idea of this, right? So, you know, you're going to spend a bit of time with me today, and, you know, at the end of the day, I want you to at least get something out of it and move forward. Here we go again with the fun. Oh, man. I'm not good at this today. It's just not happening. So, people are divided into 2 classes. Those that go ahead and do something, I'd like to think that I sit in this class, and I have done for quite some time now. I'm definitely, I analyze risk, but I don't let risk be the deciding factor in what I do. I'm quite happy to take risks, because if you don't take risks, you're never gonna know. I'd rather go skint trying than not try at all. And I think there's more grace in doing that. And then you've got those who sit still and inquire. And, you know, I see this all the time, you know, that you're in the property groups, on the potential calls that I've had with people, and they, you know, haven't done anything with that information. You know, it happens all around us, and it's not just in the property industry either. It's, you know, in all different businesses, all different, you know, industries, all different walks of life, to be honest. You know, those who sit still and inquire, you know, you've got, even, you know, take it right now. I bet there's loads of people, maybe not so much right now with tier 4s and stuff, but typically January the 1st, there'll be a lot of people inquiring about going to gyms, getting fitter, healthier, you know, new me, new 2020, all that bollocks. You know, they inquire a lot, but they still don't do anything, you know, and there's a big difference between those that go ahead and do something and those that sit still and inquire. So those that do sit still, known as circle people, they're always running around looking for the secret knowledge. They think that, like, there's a magic website that gets direct bookings. They think there's a magic coaching program that just, you know, builds them £1 million portfolio without even trying. You know, all these type of people, they're just constantly running around trying to get that sort of holy grail piece of information that they think all the successful people have obviously had and come across. And they're not willing to actually, you know, they don't do anything. They just inquire about it all the time. And then they'll go and inquire a bit more about something else, and they're just constantly running around the circle and actually getting nowhere. So if you've been involved in property for more than 6 months and you've not found at least 1 deal a month, then you're edging more to being a circle person. You know, it means that, you know, you're not taking enough action. Most failure comes from quitting too soon. Most success comes from the willingness to go the extra mile and finish. Just let's have a show of hands if you've quit too soon this year at anything. You know, it's you know, it's perfectly normal, you know, but it's a barrier that you must start to push through if you want to be successful. You know, some of you might even quit this session before it's finished. You know, some of you might give up on your property dream before the end of this quarter. You know, you're going to get knockbacks, and it doesn't mean that you quit. You know, no one said this is easy. They just tell you that it can make you wealthy and open up a lot of freedom, which it can, but it's not easy. You know, it comes from hard work. You're going to get a lot of knockbacks. I've worked in a lot of industries, and I would say property probably throws out the most rejection out of a lot of them. So if you're not thick-skinned, then you are going to suffer to probably break the mold and push through. You know, there's a lot of no's that come out of this game before you get yeses. And, you know, for me, I think too many people give up before those, before they should. You know, the only way you'll fail is if you quit. Oh, back here again. Okay, I just want to explore this a bit more because this is probably one of the biggest things that does hold people back. And just type in the chat some of the fears that you have with property investing. I'm just going to kind of go through them bit by bit. Okay. Why does everyone call me Luke? I get this all the time. The joys of having two first names, eh? The fear of making the wrong investments and losing money, handling objections, fear of losing money, not knowing everything I need to about the property industry, making bad decisions, getting a property that I can't fill and subsequently lose money, insufficient knowledge, making the wrong decision early on, portfolio small and ending my path, fear of deals not working out and losing all my money, rule changes that could restrict certain strategies, investing in a location miles away from home, because your name is mind-boggling with the idiot and me, current climate, fear of losing money and making bad decisions, the negotiation process with vendor blowing potential, making mistake and costs of making money. Who here, hands up, thinks COVID's a good enough reason to fail? Hear it all the time on the forums, you know? Should we be doing this because of COVID? Should we be doing that because of COVID? You know, I'm telling you now, we've had the best year my business has ever had in 2020. COVID kicked in March. So for 9 months of that year, we had COVID. Yet we've grown exponentially because we didn't use it as an excuse. I wouldn't allow it to become an excuse. And, you know, far too many people are using it as an excuse, especially around serviced accommodation. So, you know, the fear of losing money seems to be a hot topic here, and the lack of knowledge. As I said earlier, the lack of knowledge, that can be easily fixed. Just go on YouTube, you'll find everything you need to know for free. You'll probably spend a lot of time doing it, but you'll get everything you need to know for free. And, you know, because knowledge is only 20% of the game. What is more important here is that the fear of losing money seems to be one of the biggest things holding people back. You know, I'm always a case of what if it does work rather than what if it doesn't work? You know, because if you, who here believes in Pareto law, 80-20? Hands up. Who doesn't know what it is? It's all right if you don't. So basically, Pareto law is, it was a study done many, many years ago that everything works in 80-20. So let's break this down into a few examples. Airbnb reviews. Okay, so we currently sit at about 4.3 out of 5 on average across the whole portfolio. So that's about, I don't know, 83%. So roughly 80% of our guests are going to review us well. 20% are going to, you know, give us a bad review. 20% of people will twist and moan about your places, even if they're absolutely split mint, because 80-20 works out, right? Out of every 10 properties I've got, I would say 8 work really well and 2 maybe don't work as well. You know, and that this plays out all the time in life. So when you're getting into deals, you've got to accept that you may get a bad deal. But if if your first bad deal is wrong, you've just got to try and figure it out and get up to, you know, just keep pushing on, because Pareto law will naturally play out as long as you're not being stupid, you know, buying deals off unique properties and, you know, getting stung and all that sort of stuff, right? You've got to understand how to do the job properly first and foremost. But as long as you've got the basic principles, then you should, you know, if you bought 10 units, if you rented 10 units, you know, you invested, whatever it might be, there's a good chance that 8 of them will work very well and 2 of them might not be as good, but the 8 that work well will ultimately make more profit. So you should never stop at unit number 1, even if it is a bad unit, or 2 for that matter. You know, you just got to keep pushing through. Obviously, there's ways and means to limit your damage, and there's ways and means to get out of bad properties when you do have them. But you've got to stay focused to your path and your goal, and not just give up when you get a knockback. You will get a knockback, you know. Even now, you know, we'll take properties on and they're not great, you know, but it's about what you do to then make them work. Do you just sit back and accept it and say, oh, well, it's COVID, so there's no tourists coming to the city, so I'm not going to get any bookings for the next year? Or do you actually go out and do something about it? Do you actually go and drive bookings into your units? I know I'm talking a lot of serviced accommodation at the minute, and I'm sure everybody's involved in various different strategies here. But for me, I think serviced accommodation is probably the easiest one to align COVID with, because it seems to, you know, don't get me wrong, it has been hit. There's no question about that, but it can still be profitable. So, you know, you've just got to move through it. So obeying your fears keeps you from acting effectively. You know, it is that simple, you know, and what happens when you constantly obey your fears is soon you've created a history of inaction, you know, if you're not careful. So all the time, you'll just constantly stop yourself doing stuff because you're fearful. So you constantly keep saying, oh, I don't want to lose any money, so I'm not going to do that this week. I'm not going to lose some money, so I'm not going to take that deal on. You know, oh, I'm losing money, so I can't bother ring those estate agents because I'll just lose money if I get a deal anyway. You know, so soon you'd let your fears take over, and it just stops you taking any action at all. So you have like a choice right now: is you either accept your fears and do what is required, or you're just going to continually repeat history, and that is just continuing to stay small, not acquire deals, and you know you're not going to get any further forward. So you know, and just have a think about this question. You know, I don't need you to answer it in the chat or anything. I just want you to have a real good think about it. Why base your life on avoiding fear and feeling safe? A real good question to ask yourself. So, you know, you can avoid fear all your life and feel safe, but what does that ultimately achieve for you? So, you know, always ask yourself that question. Now, I'm going to give you a little exercise here. I'm going to put 5 minutes on the clock. Google timer. And I want you to, has everyone got a bit of paper or pen, or just take note here? In fact, I'll put these on the screen and then you've got them. So I want you to just write down now what's working in your business, what's not working in your business, what's missing, and what's next. I'll put 5 minutes on the timer. Put these questions back up. This. So what's working, what's not working, what's missing, what's next? And just ping that down on a bit of paper. Have a good think about it. 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll dig into it a bit more. When you finish, just pop into the chat what's missing and what's next. So what's working, what's not working, what's missing, what's next. Got just over a minute left. And then when you finish, just pop into the chat what's missing and what's next. Okay, so I'm just going to run through these here a bit. What's missing? Finance. Is that operating from a disempowering stance potentially? You know, could that be an excuse? I think you find good deals, you'll find the money. Scale up, finding new deals. Gain possible disempowering stance. Painful alarm in the morning. Lead generation missing. Expand into deal sourcing. What's next? Seriously, Jen. Consistency and making time. Yeah, I think consistency is 100% the key to success. You know, if you follow any successful people, and you know, I've studied a lot of, you know, millionaires and billionaires. They have very, very, very similar habits. You know, they do same things pretty much every single day, every single week. They're very consistent with what they do. So if you're a bit of a scattergun approach and you feel like your week's taken over you, you're overwhelmed, you've not got enough time to do anything, you're running around, you plan to do something and it gets away from you, then you need to kind of figure that out. And, you know, you've got to get that consistency in your life if you do want to be successful. Because without being consistent, it's quite easy to then put things off, and then that important thing that you put off ultimately doesn't move your business forward. And then another day goes by, another week goes by, and all of a sudden you're into that sort of spiral downwards where nothing's getting done. So you've always got to try, and if you're feeling overwhelmed now by the amount of work that you need to do to move forward, you probably need to look at your time management and your diary planning. What's missing? Clear marketing plan. Okay. Marketing is the lifeblood of any business. Building your brand and marketing. 100%. You should be spending more, 60-70% of your time on your business in the marketing department. What's next? Research area and opportunities in my chosen area. Yeah. Okay. I would probably take that one step further and actually say take action and go on viewings in your chosen area rather than just researching. You know, too many people are trying to do this from behind a laptop without getting out there and building relationships. What's missing? Other acquisition strategies apart from big LBRR, some knowledge on the strategies. What's next? And type of acquisition such as LOA or rent-to-rent. Okay. Again, you know, the strategies are on YouTube. Just go and learn them. You know, they're very easy to learn, so you can start taking action. You know, it doesn't need to be an excuse. Just go and take the action, figure the strategies out, and then start taking action to acquire them. Take big action, build consistency. What's next? Create a marketing plan to increase inquiries. Okay, rather than creating a marketing plan, why don't you execute on the marketing plan? So, you know, just put it in place. Imperfect action is better than no action at all. So, you know, you're better off putting a marketing post out there than trying to like piece it all together into this perfect marketing post and trying to do it for weeks on end and not actually getting anything out there. And I'm a big fan of imperfect action is better than no action. So, you know, just execute. Everything we've got to start doing is around action. You know, missing alternative strategies. Next, add new strategies and start more conversations. Cool. What's missing? Like a focus. What's next? 5 a.m. club, better time spent on business. Yeah, I'm a huge believer in getting up early. I think you can get so much focused work done. You don't need to be lying in bed till 7, 8, 9 o'clock. And I hear a lot of people as well say they're not morning people, or they work better at night. That's total bollocks. Anybody can choose where they want to come from. So, you can, I wasn't a morning person, but you train yourself to be a morning person. You are more focused on a morning and more refreshed on a morning than you are later at night. So you will work better on the morning. It's just training yourself to get up in the morning. But ultimately, you've got to do what works for you and what works around your life. But it is proven. There are studies around getting up early. I think something like 74% of millionaires actually do work early on the morning before the world wakes up. So that's a large statistic. That is a big statistic. So just think about that. Systemize a lot more, scaling, more streamlined and automated. Get off my ass. Very good. Putting all knowledge into practice, concentrate, learn about new builds, blah, 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 blah. With the future SVB, which is the national company. Yeah, okay. Automate as much as possible is, automation, systems and processes is the key to getting yourselves out of the job. Because right now, most of you are in a job, right? You're in a 9 to 5 or probably even longer. And I'm not talking about your job here if you are employed. I'm talking about your property business. Most of you are in a job in your property business right now. You're wearing all the hats. You're doing everything. Ultimately, you want to get to the top, but you don't actually work in your property business. You don't deal with tenants. You don't deal with guests. You don't deal with, you don't go and find deals. You don't go on viewings. That's ultimately where you want to be. But ultimately, most of you right now will be wearing all the hats, and you've got to be there, but you want to start looking at automating and systemizing it as soon as you possibly can, and then getting good A players around you to be able to execute so you can then work on the business, not in the business. Work, initial investments, missing systems automation. Automation, there's a lot of automation stuff in here. Guys, taking action. What's next? Monthly targets broken down into weekly and daily tasks. Yep. You should always be tracking your KPIs. I'm a massive fan of numbers, and I think you can move any business forward with numbers. If you don't know what your viewings booked to viewings attended ratio is, if you don't know what your viewings attended to offer ratio is, if you don't know what your offer ratio to deal ratio is, how are you going to move your business forward? If I said to you today, I want you to acquire 5 deals next week, you should be able to say to me, okay, I need to go on X number of viewings. Whether that's possible or not, based on your business setup, might not be achievable, but you should know what that number is. Pipeline on sort and task websites, V8 to source deals. Cool, leverage, like it. Marcel, I've stalled because I feel the units I have are not working. There's a fear of setting up more. Again, 80-20 rule. So you've got 3, get another 7. It's a good chance that you'll make some profit. Taking action, re-energize, plan and move forward. Hopefully today's session is going to give you the energy that you need and plan to move forward. Grow the back office side of the business so that I don't feel lose track. Constant leads. Right routine. So there's a lot of similar stuff coming out here, which is good. Shows that everyone's in kind of the same ballpark. So if you are feeling a bit lost, then, you're not alone. But, the main thing that I'm sort of seeing is lack of confidence, fear, systems and processes not in place, being overwhelmed, not having enough time to do stuff, scaling, but maybe unsure how to actually do that. Deciding exactly what I want from the business to take action, to obtain more knowledge, take action. Okay, if you're not finding at least 1 deal a month, the only knowledge you need right now is deal sourcing. You don't need anything else. So don't start worrying yourself about like what legislations are and how to set properties up and where to find cleaners and all that sort of stuff. The only knowledge you need right now is sourcing deals. And the only action you need right now is going out and finding deals, getting on viewings. You start to do that and you'll start moving your business forward and you'll figure the rest out later, But what I see far too much is everyone tries to do like a million things at once and actually end up doing nothing. Or they don't do the important stuff that actually moves the needle each week. And that's the difference between successful businesses and unsuccessful businesses. Every week, a successful business moves forward. An unsuccessful business feels like they've moved forward because they've been busy, but actually they've not created any results. there's a big difference in that as well. Okay, cool. So everyone has the ability to choose, right? So, you've got to, figure out, are you living at the level of choice, or are you living at the level of circumstances? So I seen a comment there before about money. So are you living because you feel like your circumstances, you haven't got enough money to be able to get into property and move forward? Or are you going to choose to find some money and move your business forward? Can you see the difference in the two phrases of questions there? And how powerful is it to choose to go and find some money and move your business forward, rather than using your circumstances that you've got no money and you can't move your business forward? There's only going to be one winner, and everybody has the ability to choose how they move forward. From this very second, you can choose a different way of life. You could choose a different partner if you wanted to. You could choose, just to walk out your door and never come back if you really wanted to. You have that ability to do that. I'm not saying do it, by the way, but what we decide is 100% on us. And it's those choices that make the difference. Nothing you achieve or don't achieve is based on your circumstances. So, if you were brought up in a certain area, or you weren't, educated at the right schools, or, whatever these sort of excuses that you're telling yourselves, you will not achieve stuff based on your circumstances. You achieve stuff or don't achieve stuff based on your choices. And you can blame your circumstances, which is a disempowering stance. And I see this time and time and time again, but, you choose to blame your circumstances. You choose to disempower yourself by blaming your circumstances. You can just suck it up and accept it and say, I'm going to choose to do this and I'm going to go forward. And that's what taking action does. And that's what taking the focused action does. Type 1 in the chat if you are committed today to just doing it. My favorite slogan, my favorite brand, Nike, just do it. No more excuses, no more operating from a disempowering stance or a fear-based mindset. You'll commit to me today that you will just do it. And even this alone will move you forward exponentially. So every time you start thinking, shouldn't I do it? Just remind yourself of this webinar and just be like, I committed to just doing it, so I'm going to do it. And let's just see where you are 12 months from now. Nike just have the best slogan in the world with that. It just resonates across absolutely everything. It's not just their clothes, it's everything. It's why they choose the athletes that they choose to represent their brand. So this next part is basically how you can become highly productive, and it is something that I think it's a question that you should be asking yourself all the time. So is what you are doing in the next hour highly productive for you? Is it your next necessary required action? Or are you just keeping busy? So when you get up on a morning, when you feel overwhelmed, whatever it might be, when you're sat at your desk and you're like, right, it's property time, I'm going to do this now. Is what you're doing in the next hour going to be highly productive for you? If that task is creating a business card or a logo, or, what else we got? Finding the right channel manager, or, speaking to an estate agent about a tenant, that is not highly productive. But I see it time and time again. All you're doing there is keeping yourself busy so you feel like you're working on your property business. You should be asking yourself these 3 questions all the time. So what you're doing in the next hour, is it highly productive? Is it your necessary required action? Or are you just keeping busy? And the reason that people don't do what is required is because they really don't want to. So they keep themselves busy by either talking about what they're going to do. I'm going to ring 100 estate agents today. I'm going to, send that mailer out. I'm going to go on those viewings. They tell everyone that they're going to keep busy, but they don't actually do it. Or they do tasks that make them feel busy and make them feel good about themselves, but they actually generate no results, i.e. creating a business card or a logo. You know, that does not move the needle in your business one little bit. So really have a think about what you've been doing in terms of your tasks on a daily basis when you are working in your property business, and then ask yourself the 3 important questions. You know, is this highly productive? Is this going to move the business forward, or am I just keeping myself busy? Obviously, depending on what the answers are, then, you know, you want to maybe either pivot and go, right, I need to do something productive. I'll just scrap this. I'll do it later, or never. And, you know, you always should be working on tasks that take your business forward. So productivity is doing what's in front of you that you will lead to the attainment of your desired outcome. So that is productivity. Busyness is activity driven out of desperation because you didn't handle what was in front of you and you don't want to appear as though you've quit trying. Right now, the only, well, let's do this, right? Type in the chat some examples of busyness activities. Admin tasks, 100%. Accounting, creating websites, yep. Constantly researching areas, spreadsheets, depends what's on the spreadsheets. Spreadsheets for property due diligence. I mean, creating spreadsheets, yeah. Obviously, I've got one that you can buy if you want one. Save you a lot of time and money. Admin, overanalyzing deals, creating digital analysis, all non-relationship building related tasks, creating digital ads, possibly not, depends how good your ads are and what it drives into business. Paperwork, reporting, analyzing, planning but not executing. Yeah, that's one of the biggest things I see all the time. Like, I'm going to plan to do this and I'm going to plan to do that. I'm going to write a business plan out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And then nothing gets executed on it. So, you know, I've never written a business plan. You know, I put numbers on a spreadsheet and I know what we need to do, but I don't write like a business plan. You know, checklists for processes. Yeah. All these type of tasks are great. Now give me some example of productivity tasks. Viewings, speaking to agents, talking to landlords, making offers, contacting landlords, relationship building, direct to vendor letters, follow-ups, getting on viewings, 2-factor Facebook posts, agents. Yeah, cool. All right. So if you've got less than 10 properties in your portfolio right now, do not do any of the busyness tasks for the next 3 months. Like, do not do them. All you need to be doing is going on viewings and speaking to estate agents and speaking to landlords. That is all you need to be doing. And if you do that, you'll move the needle forward, you'll move your business forward, and your portfolio will grow very quickly. What will naturally happen as you start doing that is shit will start to hit the fan with your operations, and you'll have to then figure that out. But you're better off doing that and just finding somebody to take ownership of that and giving them a salary and letting them run with it than not having any properties bringing in any income and not being able to employ anybody. So, you know, the operational side of things obviously needs to be done, but it should be a very minimal amount of time spent. It should be either run by a system or automated, or you should have a VA potentially at the start and then moving on to actual, you know, employed staff doing it for you. But ultimately, you can't really employ anybody until you've got your business big enough. So the quicker you can get your business big enough, the quicker you can get staff, the quicker you then get out of the operational side and you can just constantly focus on viewings. You know, this was one thing I acquired, I had a stretch where I acquired 21 properties in 7 months. And I didn't really think about the back end, but then the back end caught up with me and I was like running around like blue ass fly. I was doing everything and I just blew up. So I had to figure that out then. And so I had about 3 months where I didn't then acquire a property because I had no choice. I had to spend my time systemizing, processing, finding the right people, you know, and improving the deliverability of the product. But at the same time, I had 21 properties like piling in loads of cash. So I was able to then go, okay, I can pay for that, and I can employ that person, and I can give them a go at that. And it gives you a bit more flexibility to be able to then build at that point. I think what people try and do is they try and build all this stuff out and forget about the important stuff, which is actually just getting deals on the books. You know, just get units into your stock, and then that stock will start generating cash. And then obviously from that cash, you can expand quicker. Does that all make sense? Cool. So the best question, you know, that you can use to snap yourself out of being unproductive is this one. You know, and again, I use this quite a lot, but you know, it's similar to one of the previous questions, but what's the most powerful action that I can take right now? You know, that is, you know, one of the biggest questions you can constantly be asking yourself is, you know, whether you're, it doesn't matter where you're at or what you're doing, you know, just what is the most powerful action that you can take right now? You know, you don't get to have a powerful life for free. You've got to create it, and you've got to own it. You know, no one's going to come and hand you £1 million property portfolio. No one's going to come and give you 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month, whatever it is. You know, you can have a powerful life, but you don't get to get it for free. You know, so when you start constantly asking yourself, what's the most powerful action I can take right now? And then making sure that you execute on the answer of that question, you will start to move your business forward. So if you sit down to build a website, or you sit down to do some admin, you can say to myself, what's the most powerful action I can take right now? And it would probably be ditch the admin, get on the phone to some estate agents, ditch the admin, you know, start speaking to landlords, whatever that might be. However you see yourself, however you find your deals, however you source. What you'll get from that is results, which will lead to more income. And then from that income, you can then sort the admin tasks out. For the majority of you right here now, if not all of you, the two most powerful actions that you can do in your business for the next 3 months are marketing and sales. And when I say sales, I mean acquisitions. So, you know, sales for our property business is acquisitions. We acquire a property, that's a sale for us because it's going to generate us money. You don't have to like it. You've just got to do what's necessary. You know, so you don't have to like performing certain required actions, but when you keep doing them, you know, coming back to the consistency, you'll be amazed by the results that you get. Now, I firmly believe that you should be doing at the beginning of your business, if you can, 2 hours worth of marketing every day. Lead generation, prospecting, you know, driving stuff into that sales funnel. And then your sales for us is viewings, and you should be getting on, for me, 15 plus viewings a week. And if you're not doing those numbers, you're not going to scale at the rate that you probably want to. But that is the reality of the picture right now. And you will get to that point if you're consistent with those actions. So the only time you can ever do something about anything is now. And it's, you know, I always get, you've got two options in life. You either do it now or you do it later. But later is actually code word for never. You know, and if we're honest about it and we all think about this, you know, how many times have you said, oh, I'll do that later, or, you know, I'll ring those agents later, or I'll go on that program later, or I'll join that mentorship later, or whatever it might be, and you never actually do it. You know, you better just being honest with yourself and saying, I'm actually never going to do that. You know, I'm just not going to do it. So the only time you can ever do something about anything is now. You know, there's no better time to do it than now. If you're thinking about doing something, then do it now. And that is one thing I think that has served me very well. And this breaks down into like tiny little things. Like, I don't put stuff off. So if let's think of an example. If I think of, let's say if I think of, I don't know, an advert copy that comes into my head, a really good title. I might see it from somewhere and I might get a bit of inspiration. I will like instantly just stop what I'm doing, and I'll either stick it into my tasks in Asana, or I'll stick it into the task of the marketing team in Asana, or I'll send the team a message on Slack saying, bam, 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 done, right? That is executing now, like at all times, you know, and you're not, because if you don't, there's a good thing that you'll either forget about it or you will never get it done, and it'll just, you know, it'll pass you and it's gone. So, so you've always got to just react now, you know, it's, you know, don't let anything put you off. And, you know, you've got to be organized. And I think organization is key as well to be able to do that. So like if I am, you know, out with the kids watching them play football, you know, and then an idea pops into my mind, I need to be able to get that executed then and there. So have I got the ability? Am I set up correctly to, you know, quickly log into an app or quickly send a message to someone so that we then execute on that? You know, yes, I am, because I've got everything on my phone that I need to operate. You know, and this goes for everything that you do. So, you know, making sure, don't just create to-do lists and never actually do anything with them. Try and always execute now. So, if I can, I'll do the task there and then, but only if I, you know, am busy, if it's family time or whatever it might be, then I will put it into a diaryized sort of system or mention it to a team member. But everything that goes into a to-do list with me gets a date on it. And that date has to be achieved. So we don't just create lists of to-do stuff. It's a to-do list with a completion date. And that completion date is probably no more than 24 hours from when the idea was created. So get in the habit of being organized, get in the habit of being mobile, because that's ultimately what's going to get you away from your laptops and give you that time freedom back once you start to scale. So let's just, so what's the most powerful action that I can take right now to resolve this challenge? Another great question to ask yourself. So I just want to test this a bit in the chat. So if, okay, so let's say the challenge is your alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and you want to hit the snooze button. What's the most powerful action you can take right now to resolve that challenge? Disable snooze button, move the alarm, put the alarm away from me, force yourself to get up and have a shower, like a cold shower, move it across the room. Cool. Let's do another one. You get a rejection from an agent during a cold call and feel shit. What's the next most powerful action you can take to resolve that challenge? Make another call, pick up the phone and try again. Beautiful. You really want to exceed in property, but you don't have the funds. What's the next most powerful action you can take? Joint venture, other people's money, find money, source deals, sell on, find deals, educate yourself on deal sourcing, speak to more people, put in offers. You know that if you knew what to do, you would be rich. What's the next? What's the right thing to do now to resolve the challenge? You know that if you knew what to do, you would be rich. Just do it, like it. It's coming through now. It's starting to hit home. Leah, you get bonus points for that one. Not knowing something is it's not an excuse. The hard truth is that you're not willing to do what's required to get the results you're after. It's not the fact you don't know it, you know, and that is it in a nutshell. You know, that is it in a nutshell. Because YouTube is full of all the information that you'll ever know. We also have this wonderful thing called Google. And if you type into how to, and then whatever you're trying to figure out, you'll more than likely get the information that you need. So, you know, it's not knowing is not an excuse. You know, what you're saying by you don't know how to do something is that you're not willing to do what's required. Does that all make sense? So what I want you to do is I want you to take a screenshot of this. What gets in the way is not doing it. All right. I want you to write that down. I want you to take a screenshot of it. I want you to print it off, and I want you to put it up in your office or wherever you work and keep it there for the next 12 months, you know, and just live by it in 2021. You know, I have obviously a lot of people come through my consultancy programs on the various different levels, and the ones that succeed are the ones that do it. You know, they take the action, they, you know, ask the questions, and the ones that don't succeed are the ones that don't do it. You know, I show up every week. You know, I show up with my support every week, but I can't drag them out to viewings. I can't drag them to call estate agents. You know, what gets done is what you commit to doing. So what couple more things. Who would like a copy of this? Just stick your hands up if you want a copy, and I will pop the link in the chat. And then what I want to do is I want to chuck us into some breakout rooms here, and I'm going to do it in a few things. So I'm going to split us off into rooms, and I want to, you know, discuss just a bit more about your limiting beliefs and how you're going to overcome them this quarter. You know, I want you to have a clear vision of what support you need, and when we come back. So what I need you to do, you see where your name is in the top? Yeah, if you click on your name and you can see more, and then you can see rename. What I want you to do is I want you to put a 1 before your name if you're not on the 6 or 7 figure program. And I want you to put a 2 together, 2 next to your name if you are on one of the 6 or 7 programs. If you can just rename yourselves now, and then I'm going to try and split us off into rooms. I'm going to go into the room with number 1. And I just want to, you know, talk to you a bit about, you know, what support you might need and stuff. And then I want number 2, my 6 and 7 figure clients. I want you guys, you know, you are constantly meeting weekly, and you know each other well enough. I want you to start thrashing out just some limiting beliefs and what's holding you back from this year. And I want you to come up with a plan that's going to, you know, help you get successful in the next quarter. And then we can review that as well in the next session. I will drop the link for the that guide in the chat there if everyone wants to pull that out, and I will start putting us in some breakout rooms. Create breakout rooms. Breakout room 1. Sign. People have like I've lost a lot of people's names. So some people still haven't renamed themselves. So just put a 1 in front of your name, and then your name ideally, and then obviously a 2, and then your name if you are in one of the programs. So I'll do all these 2s to start off with. 2. I think we've got all the 2s. Breakout room 2. So it's going to be quite a busy room. 1. There's a few you still haven't put numbers next to yourselves. I can probably assign you based on names. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to split room. I'm going to split, because I don't want the rooms to be too big. I'm going to split you into 2 rooms for the number 1 people. And what I'll do is I'm going to jump into room 1 first, and then I'll come into the other room afterwards. I'm sure I've got the ability to do that. What do I do? One. I lost a marker in the wrong room. Move to 1. 1, 1, 1. So move to 1. Right, I think I've got everyone. I think we've got everyone here, have we? All participants have been assigned to breakout rooms. Right, cool. So we're going to do that, and then I'll jump in room 1. I'll jump in room 2 first, then I'll jump in room 3. And the guys in room 1, you're already on the program, so you guys thrashed out between yourselves. About five minutes, and then we'll all come back. Everyone clear on that? Yeah, cool.
Yeah. Hey, Sasha.
Are we there? Hey, everyone. How are we?
Good.
Good. Good.
Cool, cool. Enjoying it so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good, yeah.
Really good.
Cool. Right. So I wanted to just jump. I know we've all kind of I recognize some of the names from just connecting on Facebook, and possibly even had some strategy calls with you, and you know, so on and so forth. I get a lot of questions all the time about what I can do for people, and you know, a lot of the time, you know, the property industry is full of these like courses, and you know, there's no sort of I think, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great trainers out there, and there's a lot of great you know, results happening from them, but I think obviously a lot of people are a bit skeptical as well. So I thought it'd be a good opportunity to dive into the rooms and just take questions from you guys really about potentially supporting you going forward in 2021 and making sure that you achieve, you know, what you want to achieve. I think ultimately you wouldn't be on this webinar if you didn't feel like you needed a bit more support, and obviously maybe looking for you know, that route to get your property portfolio either kick-started or to the next level, and you know, and then, you know, move it forward. So any questions that anyone's got, just off mute and just ask away. Try and just one at a time, I guess, or and then and we can just go from there. Or if you've just got any, you know, general questions that you'd like, you know, a bit of help with, then again, just hop off mute, and I'll try and spend 5-10 minutes just answering them.
Ryan, I've got a very simple one. Very simple question.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So someone starting out or in it for a little while, do you have, and you may not have this at all, do you have sort of stats of sort of, okay, you've got to make 10 calls to get a viewing, you've got to make 10 viewings to make find a suitable property, and out of those offers that you make, you need to make 10 offers to get a property. Do you have any stats like that at all, just to help us with the numbers?
Yeah, so I think this is one of the things that we do cover off in the six-figure program, and it's 75 conversations opened a week leads to about 20 viewings booked, which leads to 15 viewings attended, which leads to a deal. And that changes. And I just remember when I was first starting out, I was getting on like 15, 20 viewings a week. And that's kind of, I was picking up a lot of deals. And as you get better, you go on less viewings, but you get more deals. Because, and I get this question all the time about like, should I go on the viewing? Is it going to be a waste of my time? Like, I don't think any viewing's a waste of time, by the way, because for me, it's not about the bricks and mortar. It's about building the relationship. So even if you go and it's not the right property or whatever, then you've potentially still built a relationship. I've been on many viewings where the guy's going, actually, this one doesn't seem to work, but I've got 3 more down the street and I've got the keys. Do you want to go and pop in and have a look at them? You know, and we've done that, and then we've you know, built that relationship further, and then we take all the properties on, and you know, so there's never a waste of viewing. I also think there's no harm in driving around the area that you want to invest in and getting to know the area. Like, I've lived in Newcastle now for nearly 20 years, but really before I got into property seriously, there was areas in Newcastle that, you know, without being snobby, I'm not going to go to, you know, and I would never know anything about them. But they are actually areas where some of these great properties lie for BRR, service accommodation, HMOs, you know, and therefore you've got to start getting used to the areas. And I think even just walking down the streets, you know, do you feel safe? Are the windows put out? You know, would your guests be happy coming here? Would HMO tenants be happy living here? Would single let tenants be happy living there? You know, that sort of thing. So I don't think a viewing's ever wasted. And I just think the more you do, like anything, the more your pipeline builds.
So basically, do 15 calls a day and then take it from there. That's something, give you the weekend off, basically.
Yeah. But they've got to be...
they're qualified, shall we say.
Yeah, I mean, I'm actually not a fan of calling estate agents. I think it's not a good use of time in the most. We have a sort of strategy more online, penetrating social media a bit more, and you know, so I find I get more results that way, and I've definitely built my portfolio that way. So I'm not saying don't use estate agents. I think they do serve a purpose. And I think if you do it right, then you get better results. But just mindlessly ringing estate agents, like pitching the old corporate script, is not going to get that great a result for the amount of time that you invest in it.
Yeah, I suppose if you haven't got the social media presence, though, you've got to rely on the web and then the estate agents until you get that established, that social media presence as well, so people interact with you.
Not really. I think if you have a strong value proposition for somebody, like, you know, someone could hit me up in my Instagram account that I've never even heard of and be like, hey, I've got this, you know, magical way to give you £10 million right now, and it's going to do X, Y, and Z for you, blah, blah, blah. I'd be at least interested in reading a bit further and finding out what it's about, you know? And so it's about the value proposition. And, you know, if you create enough value for somebody, that their ears perk up. You know, why do we, you know, mindlessly scroll on Facebook and then a sponsored ad hits us and you read it and you've never heard of the person before, but the words jumping off the paper are like just resonating with you so much that you've got to learn more. You know, it's the same with what we do, like, you know, like dropping the right message into the right inboxes and then you get the right results. So don't get me wrong, the brand definitely helps and it should be something that you're kind of beavering away in the background with, but it's not the be all and end all. As I said before, imperfect action is better than no action.
I'll release the floor and let others ask now.
Any more questions?
Yeah, hey Ryan.
Hey.
Yeah, basically, I started off doing viewings with estate agents, and I just found it's a complete waste of time. So I've just gone into the digital marketing now. So
Why do you find it a waste of time?
no matter what offers you put in, there's always someone outbidding you, and if
There's always
you can
one,
get,
sorry.
there's always someone outbidding you, and so in my experience, it's hard to find a deal with an estate agent unless you're going to pay the market value.
Yeah,
Full
but
market value.
the thing with rent to rent is market. You find the right deals in the right areas, market value. You can pay that, and that's why it works. You know, you can pay market value and make money by running it on a super rent strategy. The reason that it's not working with estate agents is because you're also not providing value to them.
Yeah.
You know, you got to remember that and the value of an estate agency is not how many properties they have on the books for sale. It's not how much they bring in from their sales revenue from acquisitions. It's how much recurring income they've got in their portfolio from management fees. That is a large percentage of what makes up a business's worth. Because what we don't realize is we go pitching these agents without even giving a shit about the agent. All we want to do is get direct to the landlord. We think the agent's the enemy and we don't work with them. So, you know, if you actually look into maybe the value that you're offering to the agent, if it's next to nil, then that's probably why you're getting just told that there's a higher offer in or whatever, which is probably just, you know, possibly a load of bollocks. The agents don't want to work with rent-to-rent companies that don't offer any value to the agency. You got to think about that. And then you got to think, how can you offer value to the agency? You know, these people that are, you know, think about this, right? I know that my service that I offer a landlord is 1,000,000 times better than a tenant or an estate agent can offer. And I firmly believe that. And, you know, I've got testimonials from landlords that I've worked with, okay, that would say the same. So I go to an estate agent and say, can I, you know, do a rent to rent on this property here? By doing that, I'm going to get in contact with that landlord at some point, because I'll either, you know, have the name on the agreement, or I'll figure it out, or a mail will come to the property for the landlord, whatever it might be. We'll figure that out, right? Estate agents know this. That landlord has, let's say, 30 properties with that estate agent, getting 10% a month to run all those properties. But all of a sudden, this landlord gets my service where there's no management fees, there's no tenant finder's fees. I clean the properties every week. You know, there's all these other host of benefits. All of a sudden he goes, well, I'd rather put my 20 properties with them than you, the estate agent, who's charging me 10% plus a finder's fee every 12 to 14 months, etc., etc. So the estate agents do not want to connect rent-to-renters with landlords on the whole, because they lose out unless you're going to make it worth their while. So you've got to think, you've got to come from a different angle all the time. And this is what 99% of the training courses don't tell you. You know, they just say, pick that phone up and mindlessly ring 150 people a day and you'll get some results. Yes, you will. But what's the ROI on that for the time spent?
Yeah.
And are you moving forward quick enough? So you can get good deals. I personally think the best deals are in Facebook, and, you know, and not through the agents, but you can still use estate agents as well.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Hi, Ryan.
Yeah.
Hi, nice to talk to you. I just wanted quickly, if you could run down the kind of services and your courses that you offer. And just to say as well that I've worked with your mum for quite a few years as well, so I've known about you for quite a long time.
You've worked with what, my mum?
Yes.
All right, okay, fair enough. I do. So, well, the program that probably suits most people right now is my 6-figure program, which is a 90-day program. The promise of the program is to get you a handful of deals. It's not, all the knowledge is there, you know, in a, you know, pre-recorded program. But my videos are they're not long. I get you to take action, and that's what gets the results. You know, I get you to take action. I don't want you sitting behind the laptop, like studying and learning all the knowledge, etc., etc. Hopefully you gathered that by the beginning of this session, where, you know, all you need to be focusing on are the needle movers each week. And what I basically do is, you know, I'm on your shoulder for 90 days supporting you through various different avenues and channels. And, I just constantly giving you clarity on what your next best step is to move your business forward. You move your business forward every week for 12 weeks, your business is going to be in a hell of a different position now a hell of a different position in 12 weeks to where it is right now. What does success look for you? I don't know. That's different for everybody. But I know that by following the actions and doing the work required, you will end up with a portfolio of properties. You'll have a hell of a lot more knowledge than you did. You'd learn how to systemize and automate, and you'd start working up the maximization model, which is taking you out of the business to work less in the business, but actually earn more. And that's kind of the promise of the program in a brief nutshell. So I hope that makes sense.
It does, yeah. And is it just the one program that you offer, or do you offer like different programs?
Yeah, well, I've got my 7-figure program, which is for people who've maybe already got a portfolio. The promise of that program is to help them work less and earn more. So how do we, really get to that top of the maximization model? What systems, processes, staff do we need around us? How do we, leverage time? How do we scale? How do we go from, 10 properties to 50 properties, that sort of thing. So it just depends where you sit. I think it's best to start on the 6-figure program if you have, less than probably 3 or 4 properties. If you have more than that, then you potentially want to discuss the 7-figure property program.
Okay, cheers. Thanks a lot.
No problem. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to jump in the other room, and then we'll all come back together at the end. But if anyone does have any questions, we can maybe stick around at the end. Specifically, it's about the program, and yeah. So I wish I had more time for everybody, but I don't. So I'll see you. If you guys can just kind of brainstorm, I guess, where you want to go and what you think, and then I'll see you back in the other room fairly shortly.
Cheers, Ryan. So probably it takes quite a while to get everything. Oh, I see Ryan host. Probably.
Hello. How are we all? There's not many cameras in this room. What's going on?
Okay, 2 seconds.
Get your cameras on. Be present.
I'm at work, so that's impossible. I'm just listening.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I've just been in one of the other groups. So just dropping into this group. Basically, I just thought I would, maybe take a few questions from you guys and, see if you've got any questions and see if we can help and support you a bit on your journey. If anyone's got any questions about, any of the programs that I do run, then, happy to answer those as well. Just spend maybe five minutes or so, and then we'll kind of jump back into the main room. I don't know what you guys have been thrashing out with regards to your sort of limiting beliefs and moving forward, but it'd be good to hear that as well. So if anyone's got a question, just unmute yourself and just jump off and just fire away. The floor is yours, as they say.
Okay, then. So when nobody actually wants to say anything, I'll just start myself by asking.
There's always one. You got to.
Let's just break the ice. Let's break the ice.
Yeah, exactly.
I know you actually have multiple programs. I think there's one at 12 weeks.
Yeah.
I've been on the phone with Zach a while ago, and I think there's one with like full year or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, I know my. Oh, hang on 2 seconds. Come on, not now. So basically, I know my limits. I know I lack a lot of information and stuff that I need to do to bring in my business. So obviously, learning from someone like you that actually have quite a bit of experience on this, it's a very good thing. The only thing that I'm just considering, do you take people at any time? Because at the moment, what I'm in my situation, I'm basically, I just want to say, I hate booking.com. Okay. I hate them. I mean, they're okay. They pay okay. But it takes like 2 weeks out, and I just had a guest that checks out yesterday, and he sat for 17 days. So basically, there's 31 days from the point that guy actually booked the stay until the point I'm actually getting my money. So I'm literally waiting for
When you scale big enough, you get paid every Monday.
Yeah, well, basically, I have only 2 years, so I prefer Airbnb from this point of view, to be honest.
Yeah.
So my question was, do you take people at any time you have like every month somebody that wants to join the mentorship? It's like a limited time when you can actually jump onto your mentorship.
No, the door's always open for anybody whenever they want help. You know, the way that the program runs, you know, we can take as many people as we need, and they all still get the same, you know, support that they need to get to the results that they need. My question to you, based on everything we've just been through this morning, is there's no better time than now. So why is that question being asked?
Very simple, because I lack the funds at the moment. I want to expand. I know my system, they're quite not working at the level of expectancy that I have. Still have lots of things to get sorted. I'm still experienced. I'm trying to learn how the channel manager works. I still have lots of things to do. So probably, as you said, I keep myself busy doing admin and this sort of stuff. But I can't really outsource them because there's no one else to do them.
So is the just coming back to it, so is the lack of funds to join a program, is that circumstances or a choice?
It's actually a circumstance, to be honest, purely because I get all my bills and I'm literally quite tight. I already went into my budget.
Let me ask you a question, right? Let me ask you a question. And this is all around the mindset stuff. So I know I'm pushing your buttons a bit here. But if I said to you that at the end of 12 weeks, you would have £1 million in your bank account guaranteed, would you choose right now to go and find the money to join the program?
Yeah, probably, yeah. I know what I have to do. So basically, I know.
It's a question.
Just
you know, so you got to choose. It's all. Everything's about choices. You know.
Yeah, I know.
Money is just a circumstance. Okay. We can choose to find money. We can choose to get money. There's plenty of places to get it. If you feel so empowered and strong enough that is the next right step for you, then you choose to go and figure that out, and you get that next step. And this filters down to everything that we do. Like if you choose to, if you know that getting 50 properties this year is the next best thing for you, then you choose to go and do that, and you stop at nothing to go and get that. You know, and this is what happens time and time again, is people start letting their circumstances creep in to their mindset, and they start telling themselves why they can't do stuff, why they shouldn't do stuff, and eventually they do nothing.
Yeah, I know that.
So just have a think about it. You know, there's always ways to get money. Money replenishes itself every 30 days. You know, one thing that we haven't got and we can't buy more of, unfortunately, is time.
Yeah, obviously, yeah.
But money always replenishes itself, you know, and this isn't like, you know, if you want to come on my program, then, you know, if you want it enough, you'll find the money. But like, this is more deeper level stuff of like, don't let your circumstances dictate what you want to achieve in life. You know, you've got to come from a position of choice every single time. And if you choose to achieve something, you stop at nothing to get it. So you go and find solutions, you know, that question, what is my most powerful move right now? So if we just break it into this program, then if you want to come on a program and you think that that's the next best step for you, what is the most powerful thing you can do right now to get on that program?
Yeah, fair enough.
Do you see where I'm going with that? And you see how that question in everything that we do will help you. So you're not happy with booking.com. What is the next most powerful thing you can do right now to solve that?
Probably take action to find those money that I actually need. I don't know, to go on a credit card or something, apply for a credit card for my business, to use those money to fund my, I don't know, the mentorship and everything else.
Yeah. Okay. Next, what I was thinking more along the lines of is go and find direct bookings and cut booking.com out the picture.
Yeah, I know.
That is probably the next most powerful step you can do if you're not happy with the way booking.com pay you. Or go and find more properties so that the money coming from booking.com doesn't matter. Like, I know that the money comes from booking.com eventually.
Yeah, eventually. Yeah.
It doesn't bother me, you know, because my business is big enough now. I can cash flow it. I could cash flow it, you know, for months. So that because we've got it to that position. So because I focused on acquiring units, not worried about the money, you know. So it's all mindset. And when you start changing the way that you go about things, you start to change your results.
I mean, I am in the journey of changing my mindset from the point of where I've been last year. Same time to the point I am today. It's a complete shift because I was still working full time. I had my business already; it was already registered, but I wasn't really doing anything for it. So I literally by middle of the year, I said, "No, you know what? Screw this. I'm not gonna take any more. Spend my time making money for someone else. I'll just try to do my best to make those money for."
Cool.
So basically, I'm keep working on this. It just the small bits that actually probably, as I said, a circumstance. So probably I know what I'll have to do, including the direct bookings as well. I need to optimize my website as well to get direct bookings. Still a lot because I'm literally just starting. I have these units for nearly 2 months. So basically, and now the money start pouring in. Not as much as I would actually want to, but I know I have to duplicate that. I need to scale up.
Cool. Any more questions?
No, I'm all right.
I had a question actually. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Just around, because I got my first investment property a few months ago and it's all going quite well. But I just wondered what your thoughts are on having quite controlling strategies and kind of delving into that, because I'm still working full time and I don't want to quit my career in the short term. Would you recommend, is that a way to build cash flow in order to scale quickly with buy to lets or BRR or something similar? Or
rent to rent?
Because obviously it might compromise performance in your actual job.
Hold on, just let me get clear on the question. Would I advocate rent to rent as a strategy for quick cash flow?
Yeah, just in terms of, obviously I do want to scale my portfolio, but would you recommend
What's your job?
taking a hit? Recruitment.
Okay, how many hours do you work?
Probably
Too many.
about, yeah. Yeah, so it's just about, obviously I know that the rent to rent and the controlling strategies are quite lucrative, but I also don't want to have a second job around already a full-time job kind of thing. So yeah, it's just about whether you would advocate that or just say stick to the BRR and buy to let and that kind of thing for the time being.
Yeah, okay. So what's riskier? Crunching in a few more hours a week or leaving a load of money on the table?
On the table.
And what happens is when you get the money on the table, then you can actually get staff and you can get those tasks off your plate. And all of a sudden, then you've got the best of both worlds because you're buying time back for yourself, but you're earning more money. And that is the key to a successful business. And, you know, that's one of the things that we really work hard on in the 7-figure program. You know, but for me, you've got two choices. You either leave your job and go full-time in property and make a fist of it, or you've got to fit it around your job. Or you're never going to achieve anything quick. You know, acquiring 1 property a year, 2 properties a year ain't going to do much for you. It's certainly not going to get you out of your job.
Yeah.
You could acquire 5 to 10 rent-to-rent properties before probably June this year, done correctly, and probably stick your notice in May. You know, so that is the power that property does operate when it's done properly. But a lot of people get so worked up about time that they end up like not doing anything about it. I'd rather crunch in those extra hours a week, make it work for me, and then decide I'm going to systemize and process it and take myself out the business. I work less than, I'd be exaggerating if I say, well, I have a team meeting on a Monday for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And then, you know, I check in, let's say 2 hours is probably the most I spend in my property business now. But it still acquires more property every month. We still host guests every day. We still manage tenants every day. We're still growing, you know, but I don't need to be involved in it anymore. You know, I just manage it and lead it, you know, and that's the ultimate position that you want to be in, you know, where you can go on holiday for 4 weeks, turn your phone off and come back and your business has grown and it's all, you know, sitting there nice. And this is one of the biggest things I see with when I do my business consultancy is too many high achievers and sort of CEOs and you know, high net worth individuals. They're so wrapped into their business because they're not willing to give that control away. And I was there as well. You know, I as a entrepreneur, you always think no one can do a job better than me. You know, I need to do everything. But once you start releasing that control, your business actually grows because you can spend more time on creating the business, creating more ideas, you know, serving the business better. And then your operation side of things are growing the business and managing the business for you. Does that help?
Yeah, that's helpful. So have you mentored individuals that have been able to systemize and to have a kind of, you know, self-run property business alongside their full-time job then?
Yeah, most of the people that come on my six-figure program have got jobs. The promise of the program is to, you know, get them on their way to getting out their jobs. Because if we're honest about it, you're probably not getting into property unless you want, like if you loved your recruitment job, you'd probably not be getting into property, right? But you probably see property as a way out of your recruitment job, and therefore you need to earn, I don't know, $2,500 to $4,000 a month before you can do that. So how can you do that? The quickest way to do that is rent to rent. You know, you could have that boxed off in the next 6 months, and then you've got that recurring money coming in, and then you go full time. And when you go full time in the business, that's when like things really start to move. You get to, you know, just think about what you've done building it part time, and then you get to this full time position. You're like, shit, I've got all these hours to do, you know, and what can you do? So yeah, most of the people that come on my program are employed at first.
Okay, cool. No, that's really helpful. Thanks.
Cool.